CIA unveils model of Al-Qaeda leader al-Zawahri's
Trial.
hideout. The CIA has revealed the scale model of the safe house where it found and killed Al-Qaeda
Trial.
leader Ayman al-Zawahri in Afghanistan. McLean, Virginia. The CIA has revealed a
Trial.
model of Ayman al-Zawahri's safe house, used to brief President Joe Biden about the Al-Qaeda leader's whereabouts before the agency killed him in a drone strike in Afghanistan.
Trial.
Shortly after al-Zawahri's death, White House officials released a photo showing Biden talking to CIA Director William Burns with a closed wooden box on the table in front of them. Now, the contents of the box, a
Trial.
model depicting a white-walled home with at least 5 stories and 3 partially obscured balconies, are on display at the CIA
Trial.
museum inside the agency's Virginia headquarters. The museum is closed to the public and access is generally limited to the agency's employees and guests. The CIA allowed journalists to tour the
Trial.
museum, newly refurbished in time for the agency's 75th anniversary, as part of a broader effort to showcase
Trial.
its history and achievements. Most of the exhibits took years or decades to declassify. The al-Zawahri model home is the rare artifact that had been used by intelligence officers just weeks beforehand.
Trial.
Al-Zawahri was killed in late July, nearly a year after the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, ending a 2-decade war in which the CIA had a central role. The agency sent the first
Trial.
American forces 2 weeks after the Sept. 11. 2001 terrorist attacks.
Trial.
2 decades later, it pulled out intelligence assets and assisted in the chaotic
Trial.
evacuation of thousands of Americans and Afghan allies. The Biden administration has said the strike shows it retains what it calls an
Trial.
over-the-horizon counterterrorism capacity in
Hi
Afghanistan.
everyone, Sandman here.
Opponents of the administration and some
more popular
analysts
these
question
days than it
whether
was almost
30
al-Zawahri's
years
presence
ago.
in a Kabul
That's partially
neighborhood
because of its
suggests
badass
extremist
quotable
groups
lines,
like
but also because it has something
Al-Qaeda
that
or the
modern
Islamic
films
State
lack.
are growing stronger under the Taliban, who
Trial.
now rule the country. The strike was particularly meaningful for the CIA, which lost 7 employees in trying to find al-Zawahri, a key plotter of the Sept. 11 attacks, who was then Al-Qaeda's second-in-command.
Trial.
They were killed when a Jordanian doctor who pretended to have information about al-Zawahri carried out a 2009 suicide bombing at a base in Khost, Afghanistan. The doctor was working
Trial.
for Al-Qaeda. On display near the model of al-Zawahri's home are 7 stars honoring the CIA employees slain at Khost. The stars were previously part of a memorial in Afghanistan that was
Trial.
taken down as the U.S. withdrew. Other newly revealed artifacts
everyone,
include
Sandman
concept
here.
drawings for the fake film created as part of a 1980
Time
operation
game,
to
then you're a
rescue
dumbass.
American diplomats from Iran. The
Trial.
subject of the 2012 movie Argo starring Ben Affleck. There are also crew uniforms and
Trial.
other items from the Glomar Explorer, the Howard Hughes-built ship that served as cover for a 1970s mission to surface a sunken
Trial.
Soviet submarine carrying nuclear-armed ballistic missiles. The story on the front page of the Los Angeles Times exposing the operation
Trial.
is
Hi everyone,
reproduced on a
Sandman
nearby
here.
museum
This
wall.
video was brought to you by a
The
donation
museum
from
also
Half
includes
Duplex,
some
and here's what he
information
has
on
to
the
say.
agency's darker
Hey
moments,
Sandman, this topic is with regards to
including
the
its
whole
role in the
transgenderism
ultimately
movement.
false
On a
assertions
few
that
recent
Iraq had
social
weapons of mass
occasions, the
destruction
same
prior
topic
to the
came up.
2003
Female turned
Trial.
male sleep on my couch, or ride in my car
invasion,
and then the house burns down,
as well as
or
the
the car
exposure and
crashes with the...
execution of several key spies the U.S. had in the Soviet
Trial.
Union. Janelle Nizes, the museum's deputy director, says a running agency joke about the collection is that for
Trial.
most people, it's the greatest museum you'll never see. The CIA wants to use its history to
Trial.
engage more with the public, albeit on the narrow terms one might expect of an intelligence service.
Trial.
The number of annual visitors to the museum, for example, is classified. Among the known guests are
Trial.
U.S. lawmakers, officers from other law enforcement and intelligence agencies, and foreign officials. But CIA employees
Trial.
post about some of the museum's roughly 600 exhibits on social media. The agency also recently started a podcast with Burns, the CIA director, as its first guest. A primary
Trial.
goal of the museum is to reinforce lessons from the agency's successes and failures for the current workforce. Nizas said. Some CIA veterans who served in the missions depicted in the museum
Trial.
donated artifacts to the collection. But the agency is now hiring officers in their 20s who are too young to remember the sept. 11. 2001. Attacks.
Trial.
The idea here is as you're going to lunch or as you're going to a meeting. Leave 10 minutes early. Leave 20 minutes early. And just take the
Trial.
time to look at one section and really learn about your history. Nizas said.